Welcome to Purpose, Passion, Life, your podcast to living life in purpose, on purpose, with passion. I'm your host, Holly Ogsted. If you are a coach or an entrepreneur who is out to make a positive impact in this world and empower other people, make sure you are tuning in, you subscribe to this podcast. This is for you. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing day. Today, I want to talk to you guys about finding your zone of genius. Why is it so important to do this? And how do you do it? So if you guys are joining me on my podcast, I want to say hi, welcome. Make sure you tune in, subscribe. We got a lot of cool things that are happening. If you are on my live on Facebook, what's up? I see Lamar, I see Wes, I see Amy. How are you guys? If you are on my Instagram, what's going on? How are you guys? If you guys want to go on my Instagram, Purpose, Passion, Life, I kind of go spread out there throughout the week to really help you guys be in your purpose, on purpose, living your life with passion, and be able, and in order to do that, right, you have to be able to be in your zone of genius. And I really want to talk about that today because it's something that I personally have gone through myself, right? Everything that I talk to and talk about are things that I have personally have had this breakthrough and transformation, or I'm bringing other people in who have also had this powerful transformation in specific areas, right? So I did a post the other day that said, you will never be fully satisfied until you have, you will never be fully satisfied until you have anchored yourself into your zone of genius. I'm reading my notes here. So doing anything less than being in your zone of genius is actually a disservice to you. And it's also a disservice to everybody else, right? You really aren't able to live a life that's truly fulfilled and in your purpose unless you are in that zone of genius. So we're really going to do a deep dive in today to really what is your genius zone? How can you be more in that? So what is your genius zone? Let's start with that. So your genius zone, it's that area in life that it's like what you do, and when you do it, it becomes so absolutely natural for you that it just flows. It feels good. It's like your natural gifts and abilities and talents that you were born with. A lot of people have a hard time figuring out what their zone of genius is because it comes so naturally to you. For the longest time, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the different zones of different zones that there are, and you can really get stuck in a certain zone and not fully be in your genius. This is the place that you're really good at what you do. You do it well. You're in that state that just flows, right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Right, your genius zone is the one that it's your calling, right? It's your purpose in this life to go out there and do. And I'll tell you what, that if you do not get this figured out, you are going to live in that. And maybe there's some people listening to this right now that as you're listening and you're going through life and you're always seeking what's more. There's got to be something more. What is more? We're always constantly trying to fill this void of what we have in life. And I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, that reason is because you're not focused in your zone of genius and really living your life on purpose in that zone, right? So if you were to do this, life would be easy, life would be graceful, life would be full of fun, life would be happy. Well, why is it going to enter? Right? Life would be fulfilled, right? How many of you guys would love to live a life that was fulfilled? Right? So ultimately, when we don't do that and we keep pushing in and going into these other zones, a few things happen. But ultimately, what could happen is something in our health, right? Something happens, we keep pushing through our different zones, and then all of a sudden we get a big health crash. Hello? Do you guys remember? I don't know if you're just listening into my podcast, that's happened to me, right? It happened to me so bad that I was in these other zones that we're about to talk to with, not in my zone of genius. And what happened is I got pushed so far that I started developing health problems. Now, I definitely don't want that to happen to you, right? So let's get really to the juice of this. What other zones are? So we talk about our genius zone, but we're always in some sort of zone. You guys, you know that, right? when we say like we're in the zone, okay, well, which one? There's lots of different zones that we can be in. There's lots of different experiences and things that we do, different types of zones. So when we say like, are you in the zone? What zone? Ultimately, there's 4 types of zones that you can fall under, right? This is like everything that you do in your career, your life, your daily, on the daily things, right? You have your zone of incompetence, right? This is your zone of competence. We'll talk about what each of them are after. The zone of excellence and the zone of genius. Now, I do want to give some props to The Big Leap by, I don't have it by me, but The Big Leap is an amazing book. I got a lot of this stuff like with that and through other people and the self-discovery and myself. So I did want to give a shout out to that book. It's an amazing book to really help you with breaking through and taking big leaps in your life. It's a really awesome book. If you haven't checked it out, it's called The Big Leap. I would go check that book out. It is pretty amazing. It's going to be my top, like, go get this book. It's awesome, right? So ultimately you have your incompetence, your competence, your excellence, and your genius. So let's talk about the zone of incompetence. The zone of incompetence is the zone where like you are not good at what you are doing, right? Like just flat out, you are not good at it. Don't try to do it. It is frustrating for you. It will like make you want to rip your hair out. And honestly, guys, like the soonest that you can delegate everything that you do for in this zone out, you will feel like an instant rush of like, oh, thank you, God. Right? It just happens. Like everybody has this zone of things that they just aren't necessarily, it is not in their realm of like, this is what I'm good at. Right? For me, for instance, like I need to outsource out like the accounting and the book stuff and the taxes and like that crap. Like I know it's super duper important, right? It gotta be taken care of. However, it is not, it is in my zone of incompetence. So I have delegated that out to someone where it is in their zone of genius, right? So I found someone, they absolutely love what they do by helping entrepreneurs be able to save money in their taxes, like riles them up and they love it. That's the people that I want to work with, right? Not have me in the equation of like, I suck at this. I'm probably not going to do a very good job. I'm going to waste a ton of time. I'm going to get drained out and frustrated and no, thank you, right? Even just saying those words, I'm good. No, thank you, right? So that's your area of incompetence. Get rid of those, delegate them out as soon as possible. Now, the next 2 zones are the zones that most people get stuck with, right? It's really easy to take the stuff that you're not good at and then go delegate that out to somebody else. It's super easy. Like, I'm not good at this, go do it, right? What's not so easy is to delegate the parts that you are competent at and to delegate the parts that you are excellent at. Right now, competent, what I mean by competent, when I say those things that you do on a daily basis that you can do just fine, and so can other people, right? Like ultimately, like you probably are in this zone a lot. This is a comfortable zone for people. It's like, you know what, I could hire someone, I could outsource this out. By the time it gets all done and done, it's already done. So whatever, I'll just keep doing it, right? Well, what happens is if that kind of stuff starts collecting your day, and it can start taking over your day, where suddenly every action that you're doing is just something there's no problem if someone else did it too, right? So it's that level of competence, and then also the level of excellence. And this is where I've got stuck a lot. And still something that I'm continually working on, right? Because I'm like super authentic and I have no problem. I believe in conscious leadership and being vulnerable in the sake of transformation in other people. So if it takes me to be vulnerable, then whatevs, right? So ultimately, this is what happens. The zone of excellence, this is the stuff that you're really good at. I mean, you're really, really good. A lot of times people get stuck in their zone of excellence because they're so good at doing this particular thing. It could make them a lot of money, which is in my case, right? Or it could, like your family is proud of you. Maybe you have like all of your benefits and stuff. Like you can get stuck in this zone of excellence because it's what you're good at and it's what can make you a lot of money. However, it's not your zone of genius. And you continue to live in this zone of excellence there's always going to be this thing in the back of your mind that it's almost like a calling, like you're not living your full potential. You know that there's more, right? And it's really hard for a lot of people to understand, like if you have like with your zone of excellence and you know that you're not playing your highest game, it may even look like a lot of people looking in, like, what do you mean? You're doing amazing. But deep down, you know that you can reach up into higher levels and you have a higher potential of what you're playing right now. And the way to be able to do that, my friends, is to be able to find your zone of genius and focus on that. And I'm telling you, it is a challenge to let go of the control, to be able to bring people in that are super good and that it's their zone of genius. So I'm going to give you an example. So something that I'm really good at, right? I'm really good at systems. I'm really good at building funnels, ad campaigns, and the sales process, right? It's something I'm just really good at. I get websites. I know how to build websites. I know how to build funnels. I know how to write copy. I know how to do Facebook ads. Like, I know the whole process of how this works. I've been doing it for years. I've been in marketing for 15 years. Like, I know what I'm doing and I do it really well, and we get results for people. Like, we get results, right? Our numbers have spoken. And ultimately what happened is my husband and I, we launched a agency about a little over a year ago now. And we were focusing on done for you services. We had a whole agency that was the done for you services part, right? Now, I absolutely loved, like, it was a great idea. I've always had this like vision in my head that this is what I'm really good. So if I could get paid to do what I'm really good at, then that's awesome, right? And it was awesome to a point. However, what ended up happening is I got stuck in my zone of excellence. And because of that, as I was going through, what that meant was, as we started getting clients, it meant that I was doing all of the funnels, I was doing all of the copy, I was creating all of the ads, I was running all of the campaigns. Like, that's what my role was. So as we were getting more clients, I was building funnels, writing copy, doing ads, building funnels, writing copy, doing ads, like for everybody else, right? And what ended up happening was I'm totally great at it, right? A lot of people have sought us out to have their stuff built for them. And it's gotten to the point now where, like, and that's where this like, you know, it has to be in in a purpose and passion. And if I'm going to take my gifts and abilities and help someone, it needs to fire me up. So I want to make sure that what you're doing is really out to impact the world, right? Because that's my zone of genius. That's what really fires me up, is when I see lives transformed. I have no problem giving my gifts and sharing that and helping other people, because I know when they get results, like, people's lives are being transformed. And that's my zone of genius. That's what riles me up. And when I got that, right, because I was doing all of this work, I was doing all this client work, and I was getting burnt out, and I knew, like, I felt this calling out, and I've had this calling since I was like 12 years old. You will speak to nations, right? And I've heard that, and I've said it. The close people around me know. I've said it so many times in my life. I've never known what that meant, to be honest. It always meant so, like, it was too big for me, and I was scared of it, to be totally honest with you. And I was like, okay, whatever, but I can build funnels and be this, like, build web pages and stuff, and that's comfortable for me. And I get paid good, and that's my area of excellence, right? But I needed to be able to grow in my fullest potential. I felt that calling. Your area of excellence is transformation in people's lives. Your purpose in this life is to bring quantum impact and transformation and healing in people's lives so they can live in their greatest calling and purpose, to go out there and transform. Like, that's how we live, in a collective conscious that all works together, right? And when I really got that, I needed to really sit down and be like, okay, I'm super good at this. This is like my area of excellence. Now, how do I transition from my area of excellence to my area of genius, right? So it's important, right? Are you guys getting some good things from this? I hope you are. So ultimately, you guys know, like, there is a truth that each of us, whether you call it feel, see, we all experience this truth differently, but it's like a knowing, right? That you were here. It's like this quiet, withering, like, emergence in your soul, that you are here for a purpose, for a reason, for a call. Like, you have this call, you have this gift, and that it's almost like a responsibility for you to go out there and to shine that gift and to be in your genius. Because when you're in your biggest genius zone, that's where you can have the biggest impact with people, right? And that's where you really ultimately have your biggest purpose and live passionately with life. I know that the people that watch this and that are listening to this podcast, you're someone who's out there, you have like a calling, right? You're really out there to make an impact with people. How can you do this the most is by discovering these zones and where are you in the good majority of your time. And not only that, but how can you do that? Like, how can you get into your genius zone, right? So that's what we ultimately, I'm going to challenge you guys to do today, is to ask yourself, like, how do you find this, right? Let's talk about that. How can you find this for yourself, your genius zone? So I want you guys, like, take a piece of paper or, you know, maybe quiet notes if you're listening to this. Ask yourself right now, what do you love to do? Like, what do you love to do? What do you love so much that you could do it on and on and on and on and on, and you would never get bored with it because you absolutely loved what you did so much? What is that for you, right? And this is important. A lot of people don't think that they can create the life around stuff that they love. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. Like, I have created my entire life, and my biggest thing that I ask myself every day, like, what is it? How can I create my day so it's that of what I love? Right? Do what you love, guys. It's possible. So write that down. What is that for you? Everybody has different things. Some people love health. Some people love yoga. Some people love eating. I don't know why I'm going over here to eating healthy, but I do. I love to eat healthy. I actually love yoga. I love working out. But those are things that I'm super passionate about. I'm super passionate about healing. And ultimately, my greatest that I just absolutely live for is to see other people other people's like breakthrough moments in their life, and that aha, and then really watching them take action and seeing that result is just, that's what really sparkles and shines me up the most. So I had to really get down, like, that's what I love, right? So much that I, like, even just talking about it, I just love it, right? I could do it every day, all day, wake up to the time I go to bed. I could literally be in seminars all day long, going through transformation and the things that people have gone through in their lives and helping them break through those limiting beliefs so they could have their breakthroughs every day, all day. Sure, like, bring it on, right? That's me. What is that for you? Right? We all have our different things. What is it for you? And remember, guys, as you're going through this, you don't have to have it all super duper clear, but you have that knowing of what is and what isn't, right? And as you're going through your life, like, is this it or is this not it, right? Just when you become super aware of yourself, then you can do that. So ultimately, after that, ask yourself, what do I do best that doesn't seem like work? And now you could do it all day long. What is that for you? Right? We all have something. And sometimes you got to dig in a little bit. Like, what is that for you? What could you do all day long? Like, bring it on. All good. Don't even worry about paying me. I'll just do this all day and I will live a super happy life. Can you answer that? And I want you to really challenge yourself. If you can't answer it right away, then that's okay, right? Ask yourself as you're going through the next couple days, what is that? What do I super duper love to do that really lights me up, that I could do all day, right? And don't say, like, laying on the couch watching TV or something. If that's you, this probably isn't your show. You can X yourself out. Not X yourself out, but, like, just leave the podcast or the live or whatever, right? Because we're here out there taking action and creating big things in our life, right? It takes action and doing stuff and being, right? Being is just as important too. So ultimately, what is it? What work do you do best that doesn't seem like work, and you could do it all day, right? And then ask yourself, with everything that you do, what gives you the most satisfaction and awesomeness, right? Compared to the time spent. So as you actually, let's do this, like, I want you guys to make a list. This is exactly to a T. Make a list. I did the same thing. To make a list of everything that you do through your day. Everything that you do in your business, your personal day, in your job, with your family. Just make a list. It might be kind of long. That's okay. Just make a list of everything it is that you do. And then next to that, as you go through that list, I want you to check, is this your area of incompetence? Is this competent, excellent, or genius, right? And as you make that list, just write if it's like an I, a C, I, a C, an E, and a G for incompetent, competent, excellence, and genius, I want you to put those on your list. Okay, once you have that down, I want you to then take that, and it'll really be a big visual for you that you can see, like, holy crap, this is not, like, I'm doing a lot of my time is spent where I'm incompetent or competent, right? And delegate those immediately. Your main frame of time work is spent in your zone of genius and in your zone of excellence, right? You're gonna find yourself in your zone of excellence. I have a great team. I've worked with my team, building funnels and doing all this stuff for our clients, and I'm in my team, making sure that we are absolutely, like, my excellence, my skills are all in depth in that as well. But I've created that we have an amazing team, right? And I've gone through and found their areas of genius, and that's what I want. I want people to be in their areas of genius that are on our team, because I want everyone on our team to be living a life of purpose, passion, and freedom. That's what we do. That's what we're in the business of. So I want that for our team just as much as I want that for us and our clients, right? So that's what we do. So as you make that list, it's going to be very eye-opening for you. Now, I'll tell you what, guys, there was a time where like I said, when I was living in that zone of excellence, where I was doing everything that I was really good at, but however, it wasn't my zone of genius. What happened is I was spending so much time making funnels and being with other clients, like in the work and the skill and doing all of this, that I had no time to be doing this and to be, like, speaking into people, right? That's my zone of genius, is being able to speak into people in a way that helps them, like, empowers them to take action and inspiration in their life. I like to frame it like inspiration in your life, right? That's my area of genius. And I was so absorbed in being in my area of excellence that I was not able to be in my area of genius, which is ultimately what brings the highest transformation and impact in our business, right? So that's important for you. And it was really eye-opening to me, guys. I did it for so long, and I kept hearing that little inner, like, this isn't your, like, you're called to more to do, like, this is not your fullest potential. This is not your fullest purpose. There's more, there's more, there's more. And I'm like, how good, like, why? What do you mean? What else could I possibly, like, I wasn't in my area of genius to the point where it naturally started creating a lot of health challenges for me. Right, and those health challenges, guys, I'm not playing around. There were some serious health challenges. That's why I'm super passionate about sharing this with you guys, so that you can go and figure out, take the time to do this and figure out what that area of genius is for you. Because if you're not living in alignment, in your zone, in your purpose of what you were called to do, guys, you will get a calling, and, like, it hurts. Like, it will literally start physically becoming something for you. And it, no matter, like, I don't know what that manifests out. It manifests in different ways to different people. For me, it manifested out into serious seizures and adrenal fatigue. Like, it was some serious stuff. I ended up having some seizures that were over 40 minutes long. I had frontal lobe damage. I had area damage to my pons, and it was some serious stuff. I came out, I didn't know who my husband was. I didn't know I had children. I didn't know anything. The only thing that I knew was that there was a God, and this God put me on this earth for some purpose and reason to go out there and bring transformation to people. Like, literally, that's all I knew. I took that and I established and recreated our entire business based on living in purpose, helping people get in their, like, on their purpose, in purpose, on purpose, right? Being able to live intentional. That's why. And since I've been able to step into my genius zone, we've had to make a lot of transitions and a lot of different changes. And you know what? It was absolutely worth every single bit. Did it take a leap? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? But this is what we're in. We are entrepreneurs out there to make a difference in people's lives. So guess what? You got to take risks and you got to make leaps. And I hope that you are going to do that for yourself in powerful ways inwardly, as well as much so in your business. Right? Because when you can do that, you can really be able to set yourself up and create a day, create your life, right? That's what you can do. You are able to create your life. As I've been healing from all this brain stuff, right, you're like, it's been an absolutely incredible experience. You'll hear more about it as you listen, like as you follow along and listen, right? It's been quite a journey, and I have learned so much to be able to share with you guys. and to be able to empower you guys, maybe to learn a little bit from what I've gone through, be able to take this stuff and really transform your life. And if that's the case, I totally want to hear if this helped you in any way. I would love your feedback. If you're listening on a podcast, like, here's your chance, leave me a review. It's like your tip, right? Of leaving a review, subscribe to my channel. I was super awesome and appreciate it. Right, because you can create your day. As I was healing, I was at my doctor's, and he asked me, like, how much are you working every day? And I said, work. Got it. Well, this is what I did. I went and I made a list of everything that I did and everything that I do, and I got the things that I really, really love to do, like, so much, and I made them into my daily operations, and that's all I do, and I went and outsourced and created a team to build the rest. And he looked at me and he was like, nice. So technically, I don't really work during the day, right? I don't like work, right? Work is stressful. I don't want to do that, right? I want to be in my zone of genius. I want to live in a way that's filled with purpose, with passion. How do you do that? You stay in your zone, the genius zone, right? So I really want to encourage you guys to be able to go out there and do this. Make this list. It could change everything for you, right? Because being in your genius allows you to live in your purpose. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Mucho, mucho love. See you guys next time. And I really hope you got some good tips and insights from today's episode. I've learned that to live in purpose, on purpose, it means working with people who really light you up. Who are those people for you, and where are they? I want you to head over now to purposepassionlife.com and grab up your free book, The Client Attraction Code, to learn how you can start attracting your perfect clients. When you love what you do in the service of people who love what you do, you will fill your days with more passion and more purpose. So head over to purposepassionlife.com, go grab up your book right now, and we will see you on the next episode.